Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Carm Capriato, Aftermarket Weekly, episode 92. Do you know that we produce some of the best content available for aftermarket professionals that you'll find anywhere on the web, including today's Aftermarket Weekly show, where we have a guest host and hostess. And oh, hey, hi everybody. And we have actually we have two, Mark and Summer Guerrero from Affinity Automotive Services in Wichita, Kansas. And there's Summer and Mark. Good to see you guys.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, glad to have you here. We're going to have a tour of their place. Let's look at a picture of their joint. I mean, this is and I just found out in backstage here that they're getting ready to own it. I mean, that guys is so monumental to be able to get to the point where you can buy this or convince the landlord that he
Yeah.
he needs to relieve himself of this property,
Yes.
right? Oh my. Well, good for you guys. Can't wait to get a tour inside. And if you're with us on social media, please give us a like, a share, a comment. Love to have you here. We're coming to you live from the Dorman OE Fix studio, and I think we had a second camera shot of that. But there I am, and here I am again. Let me see. Can we bring that other shot? We're experimenting with cameras and stuff in the studio, and you can see everything that's going on here. Hey, we really want. So, guys, how's business?
Business
Oh,
is great.
yeah.
You're tell me it's typically a little slow at this time of the year. Have you seen that?
No.
No.
The
You
And
only
haven't seen that.
no, the only thing we're running into is, like everybody, the lack of help to get it
All
out.
right. Okay. Well, without a doubt, that's our biggest business challenge. Hey,
Yes.
listen, want to thank Dorman so much for bringing you this show again here now in 2020. Dorman Products has become an incredible engine for innovation. They are constantly bringing new replacement parts to the automotive industry, and they routinely release tens of thousands of parts across all different categories. Now, why do they do all of this? To enable technicians the freedom to fix their customers' cars and trucks. To do this, Dorman has dedicated teams focused on different aspects of the vehicle to ensure that they are meeting the needs of the aftermarket. Although a lot of their parts are reverse engineering of original equipment, they also redesign and redefine solutions such as their loaded knuckles or programmable electronic power steering rack. Dorman has invested in these OE Fix innovations to help you save time, your customer money, and prevent vehicles from coming back to your shop. In certain cases, Dorman will manufacture aftermarket replacements so you aren't forced to go back to the OE. Hey, want to know more about Dorman? Visit dormanproducts.com/tour. Hey, thanks again, Dorman. You guys did an episode with us. It was Town Hall Academy 246 together, anxiety disorders at work. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really, really good with Candace and Rick. And if you not have had a chance, trust me, anxiety disorders at work, it's a 24/7 thing, kind of. It's tough to get away from all that interesting stress. This Friday's Town Hall Academy, everyone, a leap from employment to ownership. James Maurer and Craig Tice are both in. In fact, it's James who is already in the process of buying, and Craig who is very interested in buying. And of course, everyone knows Bob Ward. Bob Ward puts deals together, and he believes in creating a perpetual business. So we're really excited about doing that town hall this Friday. Well, what's going to be next? Oh, guys, so glad to have you here talking about consultants and coaches, and and to everyone in the industry. This is kind of, if you will, Mark and Summer's opportunity for us to hear that sometimes you don't deal with a coach, forever. Sometimes they're limited, and sometimes they you find that you grow in your business differently, and you end up needing a different kind of hand, if you will, that would mold and shape you differently. And we would love to hear, as an industry, the behind the scenes and how you feel about this.
Well, starting from the beginning, when we opened the shop, we were small. We were a two-bay shop, and we got a mailer, and it, was for a coach, and we're like, we don't need that kind of thing, but we did sign up. And fast forward, that is where, like, I had an issue with some of the things they were wanting to implement, because I was still in technician mode. I was, running the back, running the front. Summer would come in on her days off, and I didn't believe the stuff they were telling me, and that's where Summer was gung ho, and she was implementing things in the background to get us to the next point, and it actually did make a difference. I still didn't see that for many years. I would say
Why?
probably.
Tell me why, Mark.
So my biggest thing was, I believe the things that I learned in dealership world and some of the other places I've worked, that the processes I had were better, and I didn't want to implement their processes, and a lot of it was
Okay.
understanding.
So you
So
you were kind of strong-headed and maybe
yes,
possibly stubborn. I'm not saying
stubborn.
that
Yep.
you weren't right or wrong, but you weren't open to
I
taking a
no,
look at a much bigger picture
no, I
and say,
wasn't.
"Oh, that component may work over here." So
Yeah.
you were, and I'm not being negative about being closed-minded, but you find that with a lot of people that you have to sit down and says, "Listen, I was in your place once."
You do, and that's where, if a coach that back then would have told me then, I think we would have been, it would have improved faster,
Got it.
So I'm not saying that 100%, but that's just what I see. Like, people grow at a different rate,
Yeah.
they do. And it's, some are slower than others because they're stubborn. They let their ego get in the way, whatever it may be, things get in the way.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I have learned is just listen to, you're paying for that service. Listen to what they tell you.
Yeah, and
And
you're right. The coaches, from their perspective, with all these different clients,
mhm,
they can segment their client differently, depending on how much they want to give and be open and
mhm.
listen. And I've even had coaches tell me, I just don't want them to waste their money with me because we're not getting to where we
Yes.
have to get.
Yeah.
Summer, how difficult was it to drive home with Mark when he knew everything?
Oh man, it was pretty difficult. But I would just subtly, make small changes, and then I just have to show him how it was working. And then, I would just have to not do the big changes that they would be asking for. And so, I we just didn't know anything about running a business, and we needed help, and we really needed an industry specific coach or consultant to be able to help us. And that's where we did sign up. We were with that consulting company 6 months, and they were like, "You got to move. You're growing too fast. You got to move." And Mark would probably still be in that 2 bay shop if they would not have said that.
Really? And you heard them, Summer, and you probably had to just keep nudging Mark,
Yeah.
because you have to make a unified decision, yes?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah. And that's where we realized that we may need two different strategies and two different coaches to be able to help us get through what we
Wow.
need and to
I
grow.
find that, by the way, I find that fascinating that you would need 2 different coaches. And do you have 2 different coaches now?
So this year we have um, separated it and went into two different
Okay.
lines. So we're in like a group that's with a
Okay.
bunch of shop owners, but then we're also getting personal help with different coaches.
Individually with different coaches.
Mhm.
Um, do the coaches know each other by any chance? Do you know?
No.
No.
They don't. And do they both know that you have separate coaches?
Mhm.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing this?
We actually just started it this year because
Okay,
we
so
realized we needed more help.
all
Yeah.
right, so you won't know until 6 to 9 months
Yeah.
if you guys are in any you may be paralleling and growing wider or together. I mean, you won't know that for a while. It
Well,
I
anybody
because
Well, any like husband and wife team would know that we each have our strengths and weaknesses, and
right,
so
right.
do those consulting companies. So you want to take with whatever consulting company that you're going with, you want to take those strengths and build that area of your business. And that may not be what you need personally, but one of you probably needed that to be able to head that up. And so we learned early on that Mark is head of operations. That's where his head's at. That's where he's strong, and he can make sure that that side of things is working. And I'm, head of the management and the front systems, because that's where my strengths are at. And so that's where we're talking about where you may need separate coaches or consulting, and and it doesn't have to be specifically automotive driven. If you don't know anything about the business, yes, you want to use someone that's industry specific. It's going to help you so much be able to understand how the business is supposed to run. But then I think once you reach certain areas or growth in your company, there is a time where you've got to get more self development to be able to progress through other areas.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things too that I wanted to add was um, that the two different coaches. Um, it was a lot for me to take at first, because I have my vision of things. But when a coach puts something to you in a different perspective, it opens your eyes, and you realize at that point that you know, man, this thing would have changed years ago if we would have did things differently. And that's where those different coaches come in, because you're going to take something different. Like, I've been to so many different training sessions for uh, anything. And at whatever point you're in, you may not be accepting that information. But if you go back and take the same class, you're going to get a whole different perspective. It's just like that with coaches. You're going to get a different perspective from a different person. They're going to say it differently. You're going to receive it differently. And at that point in time, it might open your eyes and make a lot of sense. And you're like, man, I've been told this 50 times.
I was going to ask that question. I was going to say, so Mark, what's the average number of times that anyone has to listen to the same great story, or the really good disciplines, or the right strategies, or the perfect tactics to say, well, that, it's time now.
Yeah.
I've heard this over and over again.
Hmm.
But I think one of the things that I like what you said, Summer, is that you're in a group and you can hear this from other people firsthand, look them in the eye. And that's what I think helps make those decisions, Mark, is networking 20 groups. I think have
Oh
been
yeah.
such phenomenal in our industry.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention too, I mean, if you're experiencing problems and you can't figure it out, we have to ask for help. And I think as business owners, we forget that. And we think we can figure it out because we've built this from the ground up, or, we've come this far. But there is a time in your life that you're going to need to ask for help. And it's one of those tough points.
Yeah,
we just think we're so good at it. But you've got to ask for help. And other shop owners uh, are the key. They've been there, they've experienced it. They don't want you to have those same pains. So we share, you can give a call to most anyone, and they'll help you. And other vendors have given me names of people that have grown their business to another level and told me to call them. And those people have helped me just as much as a coach has. So just keep your eyes, just keep the box open, and don't forget to ask.
Yeah, it's
Had
really keep your mind open. That's the
oh,
biggest thing. Keep your
perfect.
mind open, because
Yeah.
that's what one of my struggles was the ego and the stubbornness. And asking questions is key. I mean, you you don't really need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, you just find somebody that has what you're looking for, and use some of their things. And I mean, that's what coaches do. They're giving you the information, and you're using it in your shops. And some stuff may work, some stuff may not. But yeah, it's just keep your mind open. That's the biggest thing I tell people.
And don't
So
forget, I
go
mean,
ahead.
other shop owners have been through different coaching companies
Hmm.
too, and they have different views of what they've learned from those companies too. So you can still utilize your peers.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, getting different perspectives, I think, is really important. Did you guys read Traction, the book?
Traction, no. Mm-mm.
because you're really describing to me that Summer may be more of the visionary and Mark may be more of the integrator, and
Mm-hmm.
that book really helps define the entrepreneurial operating system and knowing your roles. And and by the way, Mark, you gave me a perfect segue for what I want. I want to talk about an episode that was just released today.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute perfect segue. We and by the way, we'll get to that in a minute. But thank you so much for your wisdom on the consulting and coaching. We could go on for an hour, but this is a very short segment.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a tease, but I think you teed it up perfectly to hit to hit the green, my golf analogy there, to uh, to help everyone understand coaches and consultants are important. You
Mm-hmm.
may need to change, as you mature and grow,
Yep.
and you may get just exactly what you need to break you out, Mark, from this
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
particular coach. And then you need to, shift and focus and find someone else that may take you. The original coach may take you to a certain level, but you
Mm-hmm.
now need to move on. Thank you for breaking me down. It was like,
Yep.
break it. Thank you for breaking me down. Now I want to go over here and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I know it. People will always tell me how grateful they are for having gotten a coach or a consultant early in their business. And you guys are the perfect
Yep.
story of we should have done this earlier and we should have listened better, listened and done,
Mm-hmm.
listen and do. So very good with that. Hey guys, great topics that we continue to work so hard on as we build the service aftermarket's best kept secret to personal networking. And here it is. Here's the segue. Ego's the enemy with Chris Clodier. Trust
Mm.
me, this is a phenomenal episode to listen to. Chris and I just had a ball doing it. Also, the joy of hiring with Malin Newton and EV charging stations, which was the Town Hall Academy that we did. It was great. And then Matt Fonslow's newest episode with the personal side of Scanner Danner. That was really a very intimate discussion with Paul Danner. Well, I think it may just be time to get out there and take a look at what's going on in Wichita, Kansas with Affinity Automotive Services with Summer and Mark. Let's get the tour.
Well, we just got a lot of snow, so this is a view of the snow. This is our front parking lot. This is our production building, is what we call it. So as the customer's coming in, that's where they park, and this is where they come in. And this will be our front office here. And we've
So
got
wait 1 second. Stop the thing. Did I just see Mark? Are you playing Vanna White in this thing here?
he
Yes.
is.
Very good. Okay.
Yes, so this is our front office, and on the wall you will see a display of our team. This is by far one of our favorites because the guys feel very proud of their work and their jobs, and I think they just don't get enough um,
Recognition.
recognition on that. So they love the wall. This is just our coffee area. And then all of their certificates are along the wall. We are one of the only shops here in Wichita that are Blue Seal recognized. So everyone in the shop
Nice.
is ASE certified. And that's how we differentiate ourselves from the other businesses here. That's
Nice.
all we have to be able to let them know that we are staying up on our training. Every month we do our own training in-house. Of course, we got to have a picture of the warm bathroom there.
Yes, and I saw a purse hook.
Yes, and we're putting a diaper changer in there too, and so that will be a diaper bag holder as well.
Cool. Cool.
So this is just my office. It's kind of a mess in there, but that's where I do all the bill paying. This is our, we come together here in the mornings and we have a morning meeting, and that is our workflow charts. So on this board, you'll see it goes from left to right, all of our technicians. Each one of those are the little cars. Each technician knows their work. The keys are there with numbers on them. And then it moves over to the service advisors board so they can know to build it, sell it. Waiting for parts is our next board. And then we do quality controls and then bill the customer. That's where the keys belong once it's all done.
Smart magnetic. I love that key hook. That's nice.
Yes. And it's fun because the guys can just actually, we do have digital inspections here and they can see where the car, where it's at, but that's a hands-on portion, like they get to move it over when it's one of those frustrating cars. So we have mirrors on the doors to be able to help them see any blinkers that are brake lights that are out while they're in the car. It's just where our batteries, washing station. This is our parts room. We have parts in, parts out, and all of our filters, fluids, they're set. On these little stickers on where you saw the green and the red, that we use for cores and we use for defective, and that's how we mark the boxes, those right there. Because it's important for us to put something on the box for sure if it's defective, so it doesn't come back to us.
Let's stop the film right there. You are bringing up one of the most important, I don't know if it's revenue cost controls, and I always called it credit assurance. Assuring that you're getting a credit on a new return, on an alleged defective, on a core. If you don't control your suppliers, you got a great first call supplier. They want to do what's right for you, but if you don't find a process or a system inside, it's not going to flow well. So hats off to you.
Yeah, not all of them check the boxes to see if they're new or used, right? Yep. So if we put a sticker on them, you can see, and we'll just kind of show you real quick. So that's
defect
or defective, and we'll write on there that it's defective so that they'll know to credit that.
And that also has, like you said, that is, you send that defect back with a warranty claim, so you get that part as well. You're not just getting the part if you have warranty through that.
Absolutely. You have to track it at your end.
And one year we didn't realize it, but one of the consulting companies had mentioned that we really needed to watch our cores. We didn't realize how much money we lost with not paying attention to either cores not going back and using them as scrap. So and then over here is our bin. So as the cars come in and we fill up all the parts that they needed for their cars, the technicians come up and grab these bins full of their parts for that car. So
very good.
We were hoping to make that a little bit easier on the guys so that they didn't have to keep coming back. They can fill up whatever fluids and filters that they need to. So then we're going to go down through the shop here, and Mark did show like a request form. If we are running low on supplies, the guys fill out that and let us know that they just took the last one. So that's what that piece of paper was that Mark had shared. We have 6 bays over here, 1 alignment rack. We do tires, all Hunter equipment. Mark likes things clean, so we have the shelving across the whole side so that stuff is not on the floor or ground, because we don't have a lot of space to walk in front. This is our diagnostic cart. So we have all of our scanners. We have multiple scanners to include some original equipment scanners. So, and in the future, all of our technicians, we're hoping will have their own. That's our next step. Each technician also has a computer at a couple different stations that they can look at, but all of them do have their tablets, and on the tablets, all the apps to be able to get all their information. This is where we store our waste, and our good oil is back here, all of our chemicals and fluids. And then we have started utilizing those little containers for some fluids. Instead of just having boxes just falling apart everywhere, we've transferred them over. This is the back side of our business, of the production building, and we're going over to the other building. So just take note, when we purchase this building, all of this space will be ours. We have to purchase both buildings. So he's just going to take you over, because we did rent out 1,500 square foot of this other building so that we could do our diagnostics, our training, and then detailing is what we've started doing this year. So we have a guy that does that now for us. And all of our storage is over here. Over in the other building, we don't have space to be able to have a break room for our technicians or anyone that likes to bring their lunch. So we've made a break room over here. So refrigerator, microwave, and it's heat
Air
climate
conditioning.
controlled so that they can get out of the heat or get out of the cold.
Oh, do I love that.
That is our that is our float. So we put that on a flatbed trailer with some little statues, and so kids can see it. And then we do pull it with a GMC truck or a Chevy truck that looks just like that. So the kids like to see small and big. We really want to focus on those 6 to 12-year-old kids to get their imagination going. And so it was fun for Mark to build as well. So we'll keep adding on to
Oh
that.
my, Mark, it's brilliant. I love that. And,
So
and wait a
this-
minute, no, stop the press here. I got to ask a question. Is this a float for like special, holidays, Memorial and
Mhm.
4th of
Yep.
July? And the town, is it the
Yes.
small town you're in, or is it Wichita
It's
itself?
Wichita
Yeah.
itself.
Wow.
And we
Wow.
are starting to branch out to smaller towns. So
How cool is that? There's a point about community that
mhm.
should hit home for everyone, and can you build these for other shop owners around the country?
Build the
He doesn't have time for that.
Okay, good answer, Summer. Good answer. What are we seeing here? What
Okay,
is
so
this?
this is actually Mark and I's space for meetings.
Ah,
And so there's two desks there, since we have two different jobs pretty much. But we do training over here too. So if we have the digital or virtual training, all the technicians go there and meet at the conference
wow.
table.
This looks like a 2-acre parcel or more.
Yes. Yep. And then this is the front part of the other building. And we do have 3 other tenants right now that are
Okay.
next to us. Eventually we'll take that over because, with this industry, we've got to make some changes for the upcoming things with the vehicles that are
Sure.
coming down the road. So we need to make sure we have more space.
Wow,
So
a phenomenal facility. I mean, I loved the first, and then you blew me away when we went into the back. And so, wow, are there technicians in the back allocated to that spot, or is that overflow and detail?
That's overflow and detail. Yep.
Oh, okay, overflow and
Yep.
detail,
Mhm.
and obviously someday I can see you guys having enough space to do ADAS calibrations, right?
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yep. And sometimes we do a lot of programming too, because some of those vehicles, like your Mercedes, they just take so much time for programming. So it's nice to just put it over in this bay, have everything
Yep.
hooked up, and
Yep.
then not
Yep.
taking up my production bay.
Well, I loved your wall of fame. The management of cores and defects is huge. The ASE Blue Seal shop, how cool is that? And then one final piece here is that you are a shop that makes such a commitment to training
Mhm.
that you close your shop and take the team to Vision.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah.
That is one of the things I have when I started the shop. I am a huge believer in continued education in this industry because things change so much. I want my technicians to be, better than dealer technicians. I
Mhm.
mean, it's huge to me, the training portion.
Yep. So Mark actually puts on training monthly for our technicians. And then, of course, he's Wichita chapter Milwaukee president. So,
Cool. Very good.
he heads that up too. But vision's super important to us. The guys love it. They are excited about us investing in them.
Yeah.
They know how much it is, especially since we closed down the shop. Our customers appreciate it too. They know in March we're going to be closed that first week. So we've already prepped everyone, and
Mhm.
they are very excited about what they're going to learn, what they're going to bring home, and we
Yeah.
share it all. And then every time they use it during the year, they'll tell us, "Oh, I learned that last year. I get to use it." So it's great, and we celebrate it. So yeah, I definitely encourage it. If you
Yeah.
don't take your
Well,
team, it's
we
such a
will.
team building.
Yeah.
Yep. And then this year we're actually going to try it with the spouses. They're invited to come and spend the weekend with us as well. So
Oh my. I mean, now that's over the top.
I know.
That is just excellent. I mean, you talk about team building
yeah.
and letting the wives get a feel for, even though they may not be participating in the
Mhm.
training,
Yeah.
they're going to see the, if you will, the magnetism, the electricity that
Mhm.
exists in this venue as their husbands are going through continual trainings so that they can continue to add value to your business.
Yeah.
It's just a win-win.
Well, and I
Just
think it's
wow.
nice the spouse gets to see how much we appreciate them too,
Yes,
and
yes.
that we see they can actually see how good they really are.
Yeah.
They get to hear, "Oh yeah, I'm good," but we're the ones that are telling them how good they really are, and hearing it from other people, I think just helps that spouse feel like their decision to be a technician is a good one.
Well, we're members of Milwaukee. We're going to be at Vision again
Yes.
this year, and we sure look forward to seeing both of you and
Oh
all
yeah.
the great fans of the podcast. Hey, guys, this was wonderful, and obviously you guys are getting ready to buy your property, which is a huge and monumental big step for you. Congratulations
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
on that.
marrying
That's
it is
wonderful.
what we call it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're marrying the business, marrying
Only a
the.
15-year dating process.
Wow, and I hope it's paid for in 10.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you.
Mark and Summer Guerrero, Affinity Automotive Services in Wichita, Kansas. Thank you so much for the great dialogue about consultants and coaching and seeing your beautiful place. Have a
Awesome.
great
Thank you.
weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thank
All right. See ya.
thank you.
Bye.